Most time management videos are too focused on blocking calendars, writing down goals, keeping your phones away, but they all miss one very important thing. They forget to teach you about managing your energy. You can have all the time in the world, but without enough energy, you will never be able to make most of your time. So then the question is, how do you keep high energy? Is there a way to naturally feel better without any pills or supplements? Because I have tried almost every trick in the book, and this video covers the top 10% that really works. I'll share everything I do to keep my mental and physical energy stable, that too without any expensive or complicated solutions. So without wasting any further time, let's get started. This entire productivity series is split into 3 chapters. Our last video was on chapter number 1, where I gave you a tour of my entire workspace as to how do I design my environment, because that is also very, very important. This video is on chapter number 2, which is about managing your energy levels. Please make sure you document your learnings, because there will be a lot to pick up. Some things might work for you, some things might be a game changer for you. In this video, I'll give you 5 categories of optimizations and techniques that I use on a daily basis, and I will rank them in the order of their importance. But before that, here is a bonus tip. Please make sure that you invest in a comfortable pillow and mattress. I shared this tip in my last video as well, but I'm repeating this again and again because it's supremely underrated. Your energy levels are directly tied to the quality of your sleep. Your sleep is tied to the quality of your pillow and mattress. With this in place, let's start with my top 5 tips. On number 5, enable new settings for your phone. I have 3 time-saving settings that you can implement today itself for free. Make sure your phone screen is switched to black and white. It'll make your phone less pretty. With time, you'll get less dopamine from that doom scrolling. It'll help you get over the addiction of social media that most of us have, which will help you cut down screen time. If that also doesn't help, if screen time also doesn't help, use color invert that makes your social media look extremely weird. That helped me cut down my screen time by almost 30 to 40%. If you spend a lot of time on your desktop, install Unhook on your Google Chrome. If you feel like there are certain things that specifically are very, very valuable to you, for example, the comments or the video title, then you can enable those. But this is a free Google Chrome extension that can save you so much time. Folks, if you really think about it, your screen time is actually your attention. I regularly say this to people that they should rebrand screen time as attention lost, because most of you are not seeing your time and attention as a currency. When you realize that screen time is actually your attention lost, you'll value it way more than before. To be honest, we should be generous with money and cheap with time. And I learned this from Neerayal. He was a guest on our Cutting Edge show. I would totally recommend you to check out that video. Another hack that I regularly use is that I always have a book near my bed or my table. So anytime I feel bored or feel low in general, I can easily reach out to that good book. For the past few days, I have been completely fanboying over Noah Kagan's $1 Million Weekend. And to be honest, there are so many things that I've been learning from this book. I keep posting it on Instagram. If you've been following me on Instagram, then you already know how much I am acknowledging and appreciating the journey of this person. So to set context, Noah is the CEO of AppSumo, which is an 8-figure company, and he was Facebook's 30th employee. And because one thing led to another, he was eventually fired from Facebook at that point. The entire book not only tells you how he overcame multiple rejections and that entire Facebook firing thing, but also how he learned to build multiple successful businesses. Now, the reason why I am specifically calling this book out is because Noah himself was kind enough to send me an original copy with a handwritten note, and it was such a well-made package. Now, if you're wondering why has he sent me that $1 note, that is a question that will be answered once you read this book. This integration is sponsored, but I personally would recommend you folks to get this book, because I'm telling you, it is absolutely worth the time and effort. It will really fill up your heart and leave you inspired. With this, let's move to our next tip from the video. On number 4, hydration and nutrition. There are so many specific habits that I follow. Number 1, make sure that before you go to sleep, you have a big bottle of water and a big empty glass kept near your bed. As soon as I wake up, I brush and I drink a big glass of hot water. And I usually use a kettle because I personally feel that hot water really cleans up my body. But the point is, invest in a big glass and a big size bottle and have water as soon as you wake up. Hydration is super important to switch on your body functions. Number 2, I have actually subscribed to a healthy food subscription. Because the thing is, I realized that my mom used to get very stressed out about handling my food because I am a very picky eater and I didn't have the time to cook everything with, my full-time job and content. So what I've done is I have outsourced everything about my nutrition to this food company I trust. And every city has this healthy kitchen. Now, if you don't want to invest in a food subscription, you can always hire somebody who knows how to cook healthy food. The right way to do that is to first invest in a nutritionist or go to your doctor and figure out what all things do you need to stay healthy. Because once you invest in a nutritionist and get a diet, you can share that with your parents so they know exactly what will work for your health. Number 3, replace soda or artificial juice with simple water. If there is anything that is not expiring after a day, it most probably has a lot of chemicals in it. And have water either before or after food. Because if you have water with food, it cools down your stomach and it's not really healthy to have something very, very cool while you're eating because your body has to work even harder to generate enough heat to digest that cold item. And in Ayurveda, there's this concept of tasir, which basically means that every food item has a core nature to it. It can either be very, very heated on the inside or very cold on the inside. And tasir is not just about the touchable temperature or the temperature that you feel when you touch something. It is the intrinsic heat that any food item can have. So water's tasir is really, really cool. Right? So if you put water in your tummy while your body is trying to digest your food, it'll just make everything more difficult for your stomach. So you can have water either 10 minutes before you eat or 15 minutes after you have your food. I have personally switched to unflavored oat milk and I really enjoy it. I'm not having with food, but sometimes if I want to have like a nice drink, then I would, switch to like natural oat milk. Also, don't think that having even real fresh fruit juice with food is healthy. Juices are better to be consumed without heavy food so that they can easily go through your body. The thing is that when I was in school or college, I used to feel that, if I'm ordering like fresh orange juice with a chicken sandwich, I'm doing a favor to my body. When I actually started learning about nutrition, when I spoke to experts, I realized that first of all, fruit is way better than fruit juice because you need fiber in your body as well. And when you put a lot of food with fruit juice in your stomach, it sort of gets stuck in your body because your juice can't stay in your stomach for that long. The food takes some time to digest, but juice can easily pass through. But when you mix up food with fresh orange juice, the orange juice has to wait in your stomach till the entire bread and chicken is digested. So it's usually not a good recommendation to sort of have them together. And I am not a medical professional, so I would recommend you to learn this from someone who actually knows this subject. In fact, you can always watch, YouTubers like FitTuber for detailed knowledge because I regularly see him and he makes great content. Next, have food that is less oily and less about curry, especially before lunch because heavy lunches lead to energy crashes. And check with your doctor and see if you can have the super seeds mix. In fact, I always have it in my desk. It's like a mix of 7 seeds and they have helped me a lot, to get high energy. And I take the non-roasted natural raw seeds. I've realized this, that all of these roasted, salted, peri-peri, all of these things, you might feel that they are healthy alternatives, but it is way more healthy to have them absolutely raw without any mix-ups. And 2-3 months ago, I came across a couple of health issues and I got my blood test done. And you won't believe I had major deficiencies in my body. Even though I was thinking that, I've never had alcohol, I've never smoked in my life. I thought that nothing can happen to me because I lead such a healthy lifestyle. But the truth was that I was not living a healthy lifestyle and it was declining my energy levels despite of not having any bad habits. So I used to think that having a lot of fruit and a lot of fruit juice is great for my body. But turns out I was simply unaware. So please make sure that your micronutrition is sorted. You need vitamins and minerals in your blood to function well. I'm not a doctor, so don't follow blindly what I say. My job is to remind you to be more mindful in general and just make sure that you consult the right people before you sort of step out and do work. Because without your health, it doesn't really matter. Without energy levels, it doesn't matter how many skills you know, how many tools you know. On number 3, improve your blood flow. There are 3 ways that I have been doing this. Number 1, I have invested in a small trampoline and it is right next to my desk. In winters, I literally keep it on my terrace and I jump on it once or twice in the middle of work. It really improves my blood flow. And you won't understand the importance and value of good blood flow unless you experience it yourself. And you would be like, what is Ansh even saying? Get a trampoline? If you don't want to get a trampoline, just have some sort of vibrational jump or anything that helps your body flow blood in all of your organs. I'm telling you, it'll be a game changer for your energy levels. Number 2, try to achieve at least 4,000 to 5,000 steps a day. I know for people who work on their desk jobs, people who work remotely, it is a very difficult thing to achieve. But trust me, folks, it is very important. I earlier had 1,000 steps a day on average. Sometimes it would go down to even 400 or 500 steps because I wasn't going to office. And you won't believe, it actually came to a point where I started to get knee pain because I used to sit in a very bad way. I was getting a lot of stomach ache and I was very confused as to why am I getting stomach ache because I'm not exercising. But everything in your body is connected to your gut, and your gut is heavily influenced by your physical activity and what you put inside of your stomach. Now, today, no matter what happens, I always make sure that I cover at least 4,000 to 5,000 steps a day, which is actually half of what it needs to be. Technically, it needs to be 10,000 steps a day. But I think work takes it away from me. It's pretty difficult actually to do all of these things. But if you can do 4,000 to 5,000 steps a day, I'm telling you, it'll be super important. Because it's crazy how we think that health comes in the way of work. I'm too busy. In reality, your work comes in the way of your health. And every once in a while, I would stretch and clap just to have blood flows in my hands and my fingers, specifically in winters, especially when I'm sitting in the car for too long or I've been stationary for a while. I would just make sure that I stretch, just move my neck. All of these things are super important. Number 2, raise your oxygen levels. Again, there are 3 techniques, absolute game changers, supremely underrated, supremely unknown. But surprisingly, a lot of high performers and a lot of entrepreneurs that I know already follow these techniques. I think in most places, these things are not openly discussed. And I have been very fortunate that I got the opportunity to learn about these things. And these techniques that I'm about to share right now, these are absolutely crazy. Number 1, I follow the Wim Hof breathing technique. Now, I'm not super regular with this, but anytime I feel like I have low energy or I'm feeling very sick in general or very tired, I would just quickly open my YouTube, search for Wim Hof breathing and do the slow one. So it has 2 versions. One is fast, one is slow. Even before a stage session, even before an online recording or an online workshop, I do heavy breathing. It really puts my brain into this zone, which is incomparable to anything else. And Wim Hof breathing specifically will give you a lot of benefit after a week. See, anything that is worth pursuing, it gives you results after a week. So once you do your Wim Hof breathing after drinking hot water for 7 days, after the 8th day, you will message me saying that Ansh, I did it for 7 to 8 days and now my life is completely different. I barely recognized how important oxygen levels is. So just YouTube Wim Hof breathing and practice it once. It's a game changer. Number 2, I sometimes use a nose strip both in daytime and while being asleep. This is usually for people who have snoring issues because people snore when they can't get enough oxygen from their nose. So it is your body's way of compensating the lack of oxygen. But when I started using it, I felt that it was a completely different game changer altogether. And I noticed Alex Hormozy wear it. And I was like, why is this guy wearing this during his video shoots? And now I realize, because the first time I used it, I couldn't believe how powerful it was. And you can get these from Amazon, very easily. Number 3, invest in an air purifier, specifically if you're in a metro city, because if you are doing Wim Hof breathing and the nose strip, you will probably inhale more toxins than oxygen at faster rates. So these habits will start acting against you instead of helping you. So I've made sure that I invest in a good air purifier in my bedroom, and when I'm working in my office, I would take that air purifier and keep it in my storeroom and this workspace, and when I'm about to sleep, I would again go back into my room and keep it there. And usually, my air purifier makes a little bit of a sound. So what I do is, before I am about to go to sleep, I would switch it on to like level 3. So it would quickly clean the air in 10-15 minutes. And when I'm about to sleep, I would turn off all the lights. I would turn off all the air purifier. It would be like pitch dark, because I feel like when you sleep in a completely pitch dark room without any noise, the quality of your sleep goes 10x. And on number 1, this habit is an absolute game changer, the most valuable one: documenting feel good hacks. You won't believe this. I legit have a Notion page where I have made a list of food items, habits, experiences, YouTube channels that make me feel good. And the way I do this is that anytime in my day-to-day life, if I feel good, I make a note of it. And I make a note of it to understand what was so good about this experience. Because those same actions, that entire list, becomes a cheat code for me. Like, these are the ways I can quickly feel better. The thing is, when we feel happy, we are great, right? We're like, oh, everything is sorted, I don't have to do anything. When you feel sad, you don't know how to fix it. And in this busy world, you can't always expect your friends and family members and, people around you to help you out. When you're all by your own and you're super alone and you have nothing to help you out, this list of feel-good actions will become a lifesaver for you. And let me give you some examples of what I have added to my list, right? So you'll get a quick idea. These are very simple things. For example, number 1 is watching biographies. Like, they make me feel so good, because I realize that such legendary people also went through so many hardships in life. And if you want some recommendations, like, please don't miss the following. There is The Last Dance and the Playlist on Netflix, We Crashed and Tetris on Apple TV. There is The Founder, Lamborghini, and Dumb Money on Amazon Prime. Dumb Money is an absolute must watch. Amazing film. You will watch it and you will tell me, Ansh, what a movie. I had to buy this on Amazon Prime, so I think I paid around 100 rupees to rent this on Amazon Prime, but totally worth it. So as I was saying, I feel amazing after watching these biographies. Even Beckham on Netflix was a great one. On number 2, anytime I talk to my best friends or my parents, that really helps me. On number 3, there would be meeting puppies or dogs, or even like feeding stray dogs. I really feel happy when I, play with my stray dogs, outside the house, and when I feed them, I feel so grateful to God that I have the opportunity to feed them. And, I just realized that life is so difficult for other living beings on the planet. It just puts my brain into a different perspective. Next could be, watching better content on YouTube. I watch a lot of motivational content. I watch a lot of stand-up comedy that really makes me feel happy. And at the very end, just listing out things that make me feel more thankful. I would, thank God that at least I have a house, that I had a full meal, that I have clothes in this winter, that I have friends, I have internet. Like, all of these things really make me feel grateful, and that really changes the biochemistry of my brain, right? Because if you're feeling terrible, it is not only about your circumstances, but it is also about your biochemistry. So please make sure that your biochemistry is sorted while you are pursuing so-called productivity. In fact, I also have a list of food items that I love eating. And just to be honest, folks, I absolutely love Jim Jam and Kurkure and McDonald's peri peri fries and their sundae with that chocolate sauce. And I know they are not the most healthy items. I literally spoke about nutrition like 15 minutes ago. But if I'm sad and if I'm not able to recover, then just eating these things while watching a great documentary fixes me in like 2-3 hours. Like, it really makes me feel better. And in my own experience, I will not give this advice to everyone, but in my own experience, my chronic stress is more harmful than having a burger or, kurkure once in weeks. Those things really help me feel better, and I am back on my feet way faster. So yes, these are the 5 ways I keep my energy levels high. I am very sure that most of them might not resonate with you, but I hope that some of them give you better ideas to, improve your overall energy levels. Because to make this productivity series valuable, I had to teach all of these 3 chapters in immense detail, right? It can't be like superficial. And the first few chapters were about, the right environment. And now we spoke about maintaining your energy levels. The next video, which is part 3, is actually going to be about how do you manage time and priorities. And comment below if you found this content useful, and let me know if I should record part 3, because not sure if this is making sense to you. I personally feel I wish I had this kind of content when I was starting out. So yeah, let me know if you want part 3 and I will shoot it ASAP, because that has a lot of prioritization and time saving tips. Now, if you're here for the first time, make sure you click on subscribe and hit the bell icon. Almost 70 to 80% of you have still not subscribed to our YouTube channel. You have still not clicked on the bell icon. It would really mean a lot to me and my team members who are working day and night researching, editing, producing this content with me. If you want to upskill yourself, we have launched free platforms like learnuiux.in and howtoprompt.in that will help you understand UX design, spatial design, which is for the Apple Vision Pro, AR and VR design, along with crazy cool new skills like prompt engineering for ChatGPT bots and Midjourney as well. With that being said, I hope that you're taking care of your mind and body. This is your host Ansh Mehra signing out. If you enjoyed this video, then do check out this video of the same series. I am sure that it will help you even more.